Tensions between Iran and Israel saw cryptocurrency market crashes. $1.1 billion evaporated overnight. Will it collapse if it can't hold $100,000? Bitcoin liquidation map reveals the fierce battle between longs and shorts. The global corporate Bitcoin beachhead war has begun. Who will be the next giant to enter the market out of FOMO? Cryptocurrency circles encounter obstacles in going global. Money laundering risks are hard to control. Singapore is serious this time. Lee Jae-myung's government may give the green light to legislation. Kaia Korean won stablecoin is expected to be legally launched. The Bank of Japan is cutting debt to pay the bill. Is the cryptocurrency market ready to see a surge?
Friday, June 13th, BitcoinTV Chinese channel, Where is the Coin Chain? I am Michael, and I will start with the 24-hour data headlines of the cryptocurrency circle. Recently, the Israeli Defense Forces confirmed that on June 13th, they launched an airstrike on dozens of nuclear facilities and military targets in Iran, codenamed the Power of the Lion. They said that Iran could produce multiple nuclear bombs within a few days and must take the initiative. Iran immediately responded with a statement that it would severely punish Israel and make it pay a heavy price. The entire situation in the Middle East suddenly became tense and geopolitical risks soared. As a result, the crypto market also suffered. Bitcoin plunged directly from a high of $108,000 to $102,000, a 6% drop, causing a lot of liquidations. In the past 24 hours, 247,621 people worldwide were liquidated with a total amount of up to $1.146 billion. The BTC/USDT contract on Binance alone had a large order of $201 million. The most important thing now is to keep an eye on the psychological support level of $100,000 for Bitcoin. If it cannot be maintained, I'm afraid that there will be a more severe round of liquidation next. The current market sentiment is risk-averse, so brothers and sisters, please keep your operations steady. According to the CoinGlass liquidation map, the market has been full of swords and shadows recently. $100,000 is now the most important psychological support for Bitcoin in the short term. There are nearly $1 billion in long-order liquidation chips buried below. If it falls below, it will definitely trigger a round of chain liquidation. $102,500 above is also a secondary support. There have been $485 million in long orders that have exploded. Bitcoin is currently holding on to this area to take a breath. On the pressure side, $106,500 is the first line of defense for short sellers, with $1.353 billion in short orders hidden behind it. $110,000 has directly become the pin-in curse high ground. After 3 failed attempts to reach the top, the short order liquidation amount is as high as $3.683 billion. Short sellers now have a home advantage. In the short term, the $110,000 mark has become a weather vane for market sentiment. Short sellers have an obvious intention to sell at highs, and it is expected that there will be multiple pin-in tests of the psychological mark in the future. The market is highly volatile recently. Plus, the geopolitical situation is sensitive, so it is best to keep your position light and control your leverage. If you can hold on to $100,000, you still have a chance to make another push. $1,10,000. If it can't hold up, it is possible that it will fall to $95,000. The best way to do it is to enter and exit quickly in the short term. Don't fight to the end. Since June 10th, the Bitcoin market has changed. It is obvious that leverage has been reduced and the contract open interest has been cut by $5.9 billion in 2 days. Bitcoin has been fluctuating between $100,000 and $110,000 recently and has been trading for more than a month. As a result, the impact of $110,000 has not been achieved in these few times, which directly triggered a wave of large-scale short-order liquidation, and the short pressure has been released first. It is also very interesting to look at the options market. On June 13th, the maximum pain point of the small cycle option was pulled to $106,500, and there is still room for short-term rebound. The maximum pain point of the monthly option on June 27th was stuck at $100,000, indicating that the market's medium-term support is quite stable. The current market is a typical short-term risk aversion and chip game stage. Israel's airstrikes on Iran have indeed added some risk aversion selling pressure, but there are still many technical plus psychological supports above $100,000, and the shorts dare not be too arrogant. From a strategic point of view, if local conflicts push BTC back to $100,000 or lower, this wave may really be a good opportunity to buy low. It is worth watching how the options pain points move, and we can also catch the rhythm. Overall, Bitcoin is in a critical period of high chip game. Unless there is a black swan bomb, the $100,000 mark is still quite promising in the short term, and there may be another wave of highs at any time. Please like and follow us to sort out the latest developments in the currency circle, chain circle, and mining circle within 24 hours. Click the small bell to join the channel and become a member. You can receive the member wealth password from Monday to Friday. As soon as the regulatory wind in the United States loosened, Strategy has made a lot of money by buying Bitcoin, making a lot of listed companies jealous. Metaplanet in Japan even directly called out, spending $5.4 billion, aiming to accumulate 210,000 bitcoins by the end of 2027. This is definitely aimed at the world's second largest listed coin king. As soon as the news came out, the capital market was so excited, Metaplanet's stock price soared directly, and what was even more exciting was that the three corporate armies of Japan, the United Kingdom, and Canada also rushed into the Bitcoin battlefield with sufficient ammunition and rushing to grab tickets. The battle for digital gold has just begun.
Bitcoin has gotten through its riskiest period. There's now only 450 Bitcoin a day available for sale by natural sellers. That's the miners. At this level, that works out to about $50 million of Bitcoin available for sale every day. If that $50 million is bought, then the price has got to move up to find any seller that's price sensitive.
ANAP Lightning Capital, a subsidiary of the well-known Japanese fashion brand ANAP, announced that it has officially launched its Bitcoin business plan and incorporated Bitcoin investment into the core of its financial strategy. Belgravia Hartford Capital Inc., a Canadian-listed company, completed its first Bitcoin purchase transaction yesterday, purchasing 4.86 bitcoins for $500,000 with an average price of $102,848.29 per bitcoin. The board of directors of Anemoy International Ltd, a British-listed company, also announced that the company has allocated 30% of its cash reserves to Bitcoin, which was quickly implemented after the reserve strategy was announced on June 6.
Please like and follow us to sort out the latest developments in the currency circle, chain circle, and mining circle within 24 hours. Click the small bell to join the channel and become a member. You can receive the member wealth password from Monday to Friday. As soon as the regulatory wind in the United States loosened, Strategy has made a lot of money by buying Bitcoin, making a lot of listed companies jealous. Metaplanet in Japan even directly called out, spending $5.4 billion, aiming to accumulate 210,000 bitcoins by the end of 2027. This is definitely aimed at the world's second largest listed coin king. As soon as the news came out, the capital market was so excited, Metaplanet's stock price soared directly, and what was even more exciting was that the three corporate armies of Japan, the United Kingdom, and Canada also rushed into the Bitcoin battlefield with sufficient ammunition and rushing to grab tickets. The battle for digital gold has just begun. The Monetary Authority of Singapore, MAS, recently made a tough statement. June 30th is the deadline. If local crypto service providers still want to provide digital token services to overseas customers, stop immediately. Why? Mainly because they are afraid that someone will use cross-border transactions to launder money. If something goes wrong, it will be difficult for MAS to supervise. Simply put, Singapore does not want to be a money laundering springboard. In fact, this trend is not just in Singapore. Global supervision is tightening. Australia's AUSTRAC recently issued a direct fine to the crypto exchange CoinTree for delaying the reporting of money laundering. This regulatory trend is really exaggerated. People in the industry need to be more careful. Policies are changing faster and faster.
The Monetary Authority of Singapore recently issued new regulations to clarify digital token service providers' DTSP regulatory requirements. From June 30th, anyone operating in Singapore but only providing digital payment tokens and capital market product token services to overseas customers must obtain a MAS license. Failure to obtain a license will result in a blockade. MAS also emphasized that such licenses will be extremely limited and the approval standards will be strict. The new regulations have triggered industry adjustments. WazirX, a crypto exchange serving the Indian market and headquartered in Singapore, has announced plans to move its business to Panama.
What is happening now is that Nets Group and Liquid Group will be launching an interoperable QR payment solution. They're offering separate solutions. With this, merchants don't have to onboard many different schemes for them to accept a wider base of customers. So that's the vision, to make it much more seamless.
Don't think that Singapore's policy is a temporary one. As early as 2022, they had already legislated the Financial Services and Markets Act, which specifically targeted the crypto industry. They were not idle afterwards and issued rounds of public consultations and draft opinions. This new document on May 30th is considered a stamped version of the previous discussion, which clarifies how to supervise and issue licenses. According to this regulation, as long as you have anything to do with crypto asset transactions, whether it is an exchange, custody, transfer, or coin issuance, you must be licensed to work. Many crypto companies are probably going to have a headache, and many are crying in the toilet. Next, it depends on who can hold on and who will be eliminated. Is this a cold winter for the crypto industry or a bone-scraping healing? Let's wait and see.
With $40.8 billion fleeing South Korea, it is eager to promote its own stablecoin. The new president and Kakao team up to do big things. QT reduction plan encounters uncertainty. Bank of Japan plots to further cut bond purchases in 2027.
In the first quarter of this year, 56.8 trillion won, or about $40.8 billion US dollars, flowed out of South Korean cryptocurrency exchanges directly, and foreign stablecoins ran away very fast. Seeing the money flowing out, Lee Jae-myung, the leader of the South Korean Democratic Party, couldn't sit still. During the election, he praised cryptocurrency and said that he would create a stablecoin for South Korea and the money would stay in his own pocket. As a result, he really did what he said. On Wednesday, Lee Jae-myung officially became president, and the policy direction came immediately. Kakao-supported Layer 1 blockchain Kaia immediately announced that it would create a stablecoin pegged to the Korean won. South Korean payment stocks were directly excited and soared. Now the currency and stock circles are all boiling. Lee Jae-myung's move really hit the heart of the market.
나는 헌법을 준수하고 국가를 보위하며 조국의 평화적 통일과 국민의 자유와 복리의 증진 및 민족 문화의 창달에 노력하여
Xu Xiangmin, a core contributor of Kaia Chain, revealed that after the launch of native USDT, the team is fully committed to promoting the deployment of Korean won stablecoin. This move has boosted the strength of Korean payment stocks. The share prices of KakaoPay and its competitor Danal have risen significantly. KakaoPay even hit the daily limit in trading on June 9th. The market expects that payment companies are expected to gain considerable benefits from the domestic stablecoin business. KakaoPay is regarded as one of the main beneficiaries with its mature digital wallet and QR code payment system.
Of course, it is not that simple for Kaia to issue a Korean won stablecoin. The Korean constitution clearly states that only the Bank of Korea can issue currency. Kaia's operation is somewhat over the red line. Fortunately, Lee Jae-myung and the Democratic Party he leads support innovation. The head of the Democratic Party's Digital Asset Committee, Councillor Min Young-deok, directly stood up and said that he supports private institutions to issue stablecoins. He also plans to specially formulate a basic law on digital assets to set rules for the crypto circle. By then, the Korean won stablecoin is expected to get an official pass. What's more, as soon as Lee Jae-myung took office, the Seoul High Court immediately postponed the sensitive case against him indefinitely. The political atmosphere was relaxed a lot, and Kaia was more confident in issuing stablecoins. This time, Kaia's Korean won stablecoin is a big milestone for the Korean crypto market. We can take a good look at how the Korean payment circle will change next. The Bank of Japan made a big move at the end of July last year, saying that it would cut the scale of government bond purchases by 400 billion yen per quarter, starting in August. Seeing that the meeting on June 16th is coming soon, whether this policy needs to be adjusted, everyone is waiting to see the show. What's more exciting is that there are recent news that the Bank of Japan is thinking that it may have to cut it again from April 2027, directly cutting 400 billion to 200 billion, which is a big scale. The monetary policy here is moving loudly, and the big guys in the currency circle are not idle. Arthur Hayes, co-founder of BitMEX, jumped out and said that if the Bank of Japan turns to quantitative easing, it may push the price of Bitcoin to another wave of surge. Seeing how this play is played out, the speculative heart of the currency circle has long been ready to go.
Arthur Hayes pointed out in his analysis that under the quantitative easing policy, the Bank of Japan will release massive liquidity to the market through large-scale purchases of government bonds, greatly changing the flow of funds in the market. On the one hand, abundant funds will seek new investment outlets, and Bitcoin is gradually becoming a potential asset in the eyes of investors due to its unique attributes such as scarcity and decentralization. As the low interest rate environment caused by quantitative easing depresses the returns of traditional financial markets, investors pursuing higher returns are expected to increase their allocation to cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, driving the Bitcoin market to attract a large amount of new funds.
Well, the central bank has been saying that it will raise rates again if economic conditions and inflation take the course it has projected.
Arthur Hayes also reminded that once quantitative easing is launched, the bond market is likely to make some big moves and the yield will fluctuate violently. In the past, bonds were the first choice for stable investment, but now the risk is also high and investors can only replan their asset allocation. Bitcoin is being regarded by more and more institutions and high net worth individuals as a new favorite to hedge sovereign debt risks and inflation, and the allocation ratio is expected to increase further. This time, the Bank of Japan will hold a monetary policy meeting on June 16th to 17th. How the interest rate will be adjusted and how the market will move will soon be known. Let's see if Hayes can hit the rhythm again this time.
On June 13th, the White House issued an announcement stating that U.S. President Trump will attend a National Security Council meeting at 2300 hours Beijing time tonight. Iranian state media conveyed a statement from the Iranian Armed Forces General Staff, saying that Israel and the United States will pay a very heavy price. In response, the United States and Israel will be severely hit. The central parity rate of the RMB against the US dollar rose 31 points to 7.1772 from the previous day, and the central parity rate appreciated to the highest level since March 28, 2025. According to Market News, Coinbase will integrate the decentralized exchange on the Base network into the main application, enabling access to millions of on-chain assets. According to an official announcement, Japanese-listed company RemixPoint announced that it had increased its holdings of 55.68 bitcoins for 887.3 million yen, with an average purchase price of 15.935 million yen.
Okay, the above is the main content of today's program. Our channel focuses on valuable news in the currency circle, chain circle, and mining circle. There are news information and in-depth special reports. If you think our channel is valuable, you are welcome to forward and follow it. You can also become our member and receive the member wealth code from Monday to Friday. Let us become rich together and add a zero to our assets in the bull market. See you tomorrow.